Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Delaney. I love thrifting, home decor, my cats, plants, all the good stuff, and welcome to my channel. Today's video I'm super excited about. I, as most of you guys know, am a reseller, so I go to thrift stores and I love picking up lots of boho home decor for myself, but I also love to sell it, as well as for about 3 years now, I've been selling shoes and clothes and bags and things like that as well. And I do sell on 3 platforms: Poshmark, eBay, and Depop. So this video is going to be centered around reselling. So many of you guys have had so many questions for me about reselling. This is a part-time job for me, so I don't do it full-time, although I probably could if I wanted to drop everything else I was doing and just focus on that. But nonetheless, I have a lot of advice to give, especially since I've done this for a couple of years now and I've kind of figured out all of the kinks. So today's video is going to be kind of a work with me, full day in a reseller's life. I'm going to kind of show you guys my whole process from picking the items up to photographing them, to listing them, to shipping them, kind of like my whole process. And then I'm going to be sprinkling in some of my tips and tricks, products I use. And then at the end, I asked you guys on Instagram for some questions, so I will be answering some of those questions at the end of the video. Overall, I just really hope that this video helps you guys get some answers to your questions. And I do have couple other videos about reselling on my channel. One of them, which is really helpful, is how to start a reselling business. I give you tons and tons of information on there, so be sure to check out that video as well. And before we get started, I wanted to talk to you guys about Skillshare. So Skillshare has sponsored this part of the video. I've actually wanted to try out Skillshare forever, so when they reached out to me, I was like, yes, 100%, this would be great for me. As a entrepreneur, I kind of consider myself working on that a little bit. I love learning, I love getting better at things, so Skillshare is perfect for that. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can develop your skills in a lot of things like Photoshop, art, graphic design, marketing, pretty much anything creative. You can find a workshop on there and take the class. What is so great is that you can take all of these different classes from all of these different people and just learn so much on one site. The best part about it is if Skillshare completely fits to your schedule, you can take these workshops and classes on your own free time. So if you're wanting to hone in on your ability to create YouTube videos or an Instagram video or Photoshop or graphic design, anything like that, you can definitely find it on Skillshare. I have been just playing around with the site. It's so great because you can follow different things, you can save videos for later, and one of the ones I'm super excited about is called Plants at Home, Uplift Your Spirit and Home, and you guys know I love plants on my channel, so I'm really excited for that one. And another one I'm really excited for is Creativity Unleashed, and it's all about honing your creativity online. There's just so much that I am excited to learn about, and I am really excited to use Skillshare. And I wanted to share with you guys because I really do feel like you guys, especially if you're watching this video, could benefit from something like Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of the Skillshare premium membership. I want to show you guys a video on the site that I'm excited for. It's called YouTube Success: Building an Authentic Channel That's Worth the Follow. So I'm definitely going to be saving that, and I can just create a new list and title that YouTube, so I know I can come back to that and watch that later. All right, so let's get this video started. Usually my typical day as a reseller, it's different every day because, like I said, this is part-time and I do have other jobs that I'm working on as well. So a typical day, pretty much typical, is I will wake up, get ready, come down, sit at my laptop, and I will get on my Poshmark and share my closet. I talked about this in another video, but it is really important to share your closet, and I'll show you in just a second, on Poshmark, because it does increase sales. It just gets your listing out there and does increase sales. I notice every time I share, I pretty much get a sale. So all you do is this, super simple. Just go on to your page here and click this button right here and share to your followers, and then it shares it for you. I know that it can be kind of tedious, especially if you're like me. I have like 350 items, so it does take me some time, but it is worth it. It does increase sales, so that's why I do that. That takes me about 30 minutes. So the next thing I do, it's still morning time at this point, so the next thing I do is go do all of my shipping. I try to ship every day or every other day. The faster I ship things out, the better customer service and the quicker I get my money, things like that. So I will insert a clip next of my whole shipping process. I filmed that portion last night because like I said in the clip, I ended up doing my shipping last night instead of this morning, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to record it anyways, so let me insert that now. Hello, this is the night before I'm filming this video, and I believe I'm filming a day in the life of a reseller video, but tonight it's Sunday night and it's been a long weekend because of Christmas, so I'm working on doing my shipping tonight. Normally I would just do it in the morning, but I have a lot of packages to go out, so I'm just shipping now. I'm in my office. As you can see, I've got like my lights back here, pile of clothes. There's usually stuff everywhere, and it's night, so the lighting isn't great and I'm looking a mess, but I wanted to show you guys the full process of all of the things that I do as a reseller. So basically I went down to my basement where I keep my inventory, and I just store everything in clear plastic bins, which I can show you guys. And then I pull it out, and when I put away my inventory, I put it in these clear plastic bags, which protects the item and just makes it super easy when it's time to ship. So I grab my items and I get all of the correct boxes and bags that I need for them, and then I print out my labels, which is what I'm doing right now. I just use a Dymo label printer. I love these because you never have to replace the ink. It is a thermal printer. It has made my life so much better and so much easier because they just print out on these little sticky things. So I just peel this back off and stick it right onto my package. And then as I print out my labels, I just write on the back a brief description of, here we go. I just write on the back a brief description of what the item is. That way I can go out and put it on all the correct packages. I'm trying to make this video not super all over the place, but I just want to include everything that I do just so you can get a little glimpse into a day in the life of a reseller. It is kind of like, obviously this is nighttime, so it's all over the place, but I just want to include everything. So now that I have a lot of my labels printed out, I'm going to go package up the items, stick these on, and then they'll be ready for me to take in the morning. I need to do a whole in-depth video all about shipping because I know when I started as a reseller, that was the most confusing part for me. But once you get a system going, it's really not that hard. It's pretty easy. So this is just a glimpse into it, but I could definitely do a whole video on the shipping process if you guys wanted to see that. So excuse the lighting. Like I said, it is nighttime. So the process that I usually do, I printed out all my labels, and I work from home. So it's kind of weird, but I just have to lay out all my packages on my island, and then I will just package all of them up, stick the labels on, and they will be ready. Just like that, I'm done. I thought of 2 tips for you guys really fast. Number 1, as you could see, I use these really nice reusable IKEA bags for my shipping. I highly recommend the next time you go to IKEA picking up a couple of those. They're super cheap and they fit so much. They fit almost all my boxes, all my shipping every time. So that is something that's really handy to have. And tip number 2, you probably saw that one of the jackets didn't fit into the USPS box. So I used a random brown box that I got probably from some Christmas delivery or something. So that's my second tip, is to save all of the boxes and things that you get from deliveries, or you can have your family members save them and keep them for you, because you never know when you have an odd shaped item that you'll need a box for. So I just have a stack of those down in my basement that I can grab whenever I need them. As I was talking about earlier, here is where I keep a lot of my inventory. It's just in my creepy unfinished basement, but I keep all of my shipping here. You can get all of these boxes free from USPS.com. I talk about that in my other video about how to become a reseller. Check that out if you want to see that. And then I just keep random like bubble wrap and some of this paper. I get this at the hardware store in the paint section. It's just brown craft paper. And then I use that to fill up my boxes as well as tissue paper. But yeah, I just keep all of my boxes here. And then I keep all of my bins here. And I personally have them categorized by like sweatshirts, accessories, swimwear, tank tops. There's a million different ways that you can do it. Some people use inventory numbers, but I have just found that these work best for me and I really like them. And then like I said too, each of the bins have clothes in them and they are in the packaging. So it keeps everything nice and clean. And these bins are locked shut. So even though it's in my basement, I know no harm is going to come to any of these items. Okay, it has been some time now. I have taken all of my shipping to the post office. And now another big part of the things I do as a reseller is putting my items into inventory. I showed you where my inventory is and how I pull it from shipping, but now I'm going to show you kind of how I inventory my items. And I'll just preface this by saying everybody does it different and you can find whatever way works for you. But this works for me and I like doing it this way, so hopefully it helps a little bit. My office is really small, so just ignore that. But basically I have all of these IKEA bags and bins. All of this has been photographed and measured, so I'm basically done with it. So the next thing I do, I kind of just put it off to the side until I'm ready to do my inventory. And so I will just take each of these items and put them in a clear bag to protect them. I have found this system to work the best. So I have 3 different bag sizes. I can link all of the items I use down below. I get all of these off of Amazon. This is the biggest bag. I can't remember all the sizes off the top of my head, but like I said, I'll just link them. So I have that bag, this one, and then this one's hard to see, but it's just more like a really small t-shirt size or like a lip gloss size, socks, that type of thing. So all I will do then is just fold up all of my items and put them in the right size bag, and then I will take them downstairs and put them in a bin based off of their description. Some people would use inventory numbers, but I just like using the description. So for example, I would just put these are pants, I would just put these in a bin with all of the pants. And then same thing with the home goods. I do put all of these in a bag. I just want to protect them as much as I can. And same thing with like accessories and shoes. I might as well just show you my whole setup. Like I said, this office is really small and my husband uses it for video games as well. And it's probably messy, but this is just real life. So I have this closet here. And this is all of my items that I need to photograph. They have not been photographed, they're brand new. So before my items end up in this closet, I will insert a clip right now of what I do as soon as I bring them home. So I will go to the thrift store and bring them home, and then I do this, and I'll insert the clip now. Okay, so basically what I do is I bring all my bags home. This was from like 2 days of shopping at multiple stores. I don't normally have this much. But as I go through each item, this is stuff that I've already done. I write on the back of my receipts. I'm sure that there's a more efficient way to do this, but this is the way that I've found that helps me the most. But I just write on the back of the receipt how much I paid for the item, and then a brief description of it, or if it has a brand like Kipling gray purse. That way when I take this receipt and put it in my inventory spreadsheet online, I will know exactly what the item is, and it just helps me to keep track of things better. Just go through and I can cut off tags or peel tags off of the items. All of the home goods type stuff I usually put into a plastic bin so I can do a haul for this channel. And then some of the clothes I wash and take tags off, that sort of thing. But the main thing here is, as I'm unpacking, I'm recording all of this just to make my life easier for bookkeeping. As you just saw, I take off all the tags, I write it down on the receipt so I can inventory it or put it into my Excel spreadsheet, and then I hang up the items here so they are ready for me when I need to photograph. I keep this little shelf in here, and it has the different size clear bags I just told you about. If you are on a budget, you can also get these bags from Walmart. I get the twist bags, and it's 100 bags. I think it's like the gallon size. The extra large size, and you can use these for bags as well. They just don't seal, so that's why I don't absolutely love them, but I do put shoes in these. Coming over here, this is kind of where I just store my lighting. So I have these 2-box lights off of Amazon, and this is off of Amazon as well. This is what I photograph all of my home goods and accessories and shoes in. It's got some stuff in there now. This whole box lights up, so it makes for a really pretty white background. And then when it's time to photograph, all I do is move these 2 light boxes to like right here on the floor. I move the chair, and I just hang all my items right here. You could also use a clear command hook if you wanted to do that as well. And right next to my light box, that's just something I need to photograph, I have this little cart, and this just has all of my essentials on it, like tape, measuring tape, a sweater shaver. This is great to get pilling off. It's got lots of shoe cleaners and protectants. This is a water and stain shield. This is Goo Gone to get all of those tough stickers off. Scissors, pens, this is a cleaner for leather shoes. This is a cleaner for Birkenstocks. I just have lots of different type of cleaners and things that I need to use to prep my items sometimes. Down here I keep extra labels for my printer. And that's really it for that. Forgot to mention, this is all stuff that I need to photograph as well. I'm really behind. Usually I don't even let that closet in there get full, but that's full and this is full, so real life people, I'm really behind and I need to get to photographing. I'm not going to be photographing today. I don't photograph every day. Like you just saw, I definitely need to photograph, but I've got some other stuff that I need to get done. But I pretty much told you my process on photographing, and I could make a whole other video about that as well. It's pretty simple. I just take all my pictures and I measure them, and then I edit the photos in my phone to make them a little bit brighter. But yeah, I could do a whole separate video about photographing as well. But gosh, that was a lot of information. I'm sorry. I hope this video isn't like too overwhelming, but I did want to try to get out like as much information, as much as my process as possible. But I think I showed you a majority of everything, like my inventory, at least a brief description of it. And if there's anything you want me to go more in detail about, just let me know down below and I can always make a separate video about that. And now that I've kind of shown you everything, here's the end of the video, and I asked you guys questions on Instagram. about reselling. So I'm just going to pick some of these that I haven't answered before and I will answer them for you. Like I mentioned before, I do have a video answering a lot of questions about how to get started with reselling, and that is on my channel. You should check that out. And then on my Instagram highlights as well, I have answered questions before, so those are saved on my Instagram as well, which is linked down below. Somebody said, do you have any idea of how much time and gas you put into finding these beautiful items, and is the payback worth it? So I do, and this kind of goes along with another question that says legalistic aspect of it, which I'm guessing they're talking about taxes. So like I mentioned briefly before, I do have an Excel sheet that I keep track of everything on. I keep track of how much I pay for an item. I keep track of my gas. I keep track of all my expenses, anything having to do with reselling, I keep track of. I know that sounds like a daunting thing to do, but it's really not bad, especially with your phone. I can just jot it down in my notes really fast and then add it to my spreadsheet later. So it's definitely worth it. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't. So I just keep track of pretty much everything. Question is, how long do items stay on your shelf? Do you ever do discounts to try to get rid of them? So this one's a tough one because it just all depends on the item. Obviously some items do sit longer than others, but I usually won't keep things longer than a year. Typically things for me sell within 3 months at least, if not sooner. But of course, like I said, there are some that just don't sell and sit around, and there's just no way of really predicting that. But based on my spreadsheet, I can see when I bought an item. So then from there, I can see how long I've had the item, and I can go in and discount that item. So I do discounts sometimes, not too often, just because it is a lot of work. But then sometimes I just pull the item and I will take it to Plato's Closet and try to sell it, or I will just redonate it. I know that seems kind of crazy, but if I've had an item for a really long time, obviously nobody wants it and I just need to get rid of it. Somebody said, do you ever sell on local websites like Facebook Marketplace? And along with that, someone said, would you consider selling on Instagram so you make all of the profit? So I do sell certain things on Facebook Marketplace, not a ton. I will sell like my own decor pieces, bigger pieces that I don't want in my house anymore, obviously. And Facebook Marketplace is a great place to sell things. And I will also sell if I find some bigger items like a furniture piece or some glassware, because I don't really love shipping glass. I will sell that type of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And my cat just knocked something over. Shocker, I know. I will sell that type of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And as for Instagram, if you guys have followed along for a while, you know that I opened up a little boho shop. And we've been selling online on our Instagram page, which is linked down below, called The Vintage Vault. And it's been kind of weird. I haven't loved selling on Instagram. I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to selling on those other platforms like eBay and Poshmark, but I don't really like selling on Instagram. It's a lot more work for me. And there is obviously a fee when you sell on Poshmark or eBay, but to me that fee is worth it because it's less work for me, if that makes sense. I think I value my time more than those fees. I do know lots of people who have Instagram pages that they sell on and they love it, so I'm not completely canceling that out. I may do it one day, but for now, I'm just not a huge fan. Someone said, do you have any recommendations for a ring light? And another person said, equipment suggestions for shipping and photography. So I kind of showed you guys all of the main items that I use. And like I said, I will try to link all of those down below. A lot of my items I've gotten on Amazon, like the light box and the photo lights I use, and I do use a ring light as well, and I got that on Amazon too. So like I said, I will just link everything that I use down below. I haven't really tried a bunch of different stuff. I've just tried all of the stuff that I use and I like it a lot, so I'll just link it for you guys down below, and hopefully it'll work for you guys too. Okay, I'll do a couple more questions and then I will wrap up this video because I feel like it's been a lot of information. Someone asked, are you able to earn a full-time living on reselling, or how to make sure you make enough? So like I said, I do this part-time. I could do this full-time. If I was able to give it 100% of my time and effort, I wouldn't have a pile like that sitting in there. It'd probably all be listing, probably be selling and making more money. But I also do YouTube, and I am also an assistant to my father-in-law. So I have other things going on, so I can't give reselling my full attention. So I don't make a full living off of it. I just make a part-time living off of it. But I could if I wanted to, and I know that there are plenty of resellers that do this full-time, so I know it is possible. The next question is, do you travel to different Goodwills around your state? And the answer is yes. So I live in a small town and I only have 3 thrift stores here, so I get pretty sick of those pretty easily. So me and my friend Emily, she's also a reseller part-time, we will travel around to different towns, just checking out different places. Sometimes we'll go on like an overnight trip and do a little thrift trip there and just kind of stock up on inventory. So yes, we do, and it's really, really fun. It just is like, if you love thrifting especially, you're gonna think it's fun. It's like a fun little thrift trip to new places that you haven't been. And the last question I'm gonna answer, it's about shipping. So someone said, shipping tips please. Someone said, how do you price the difference between standard shipping size boxes versus larger? There's been a lot of questions about, another person said insurance for packages. I'll answer the best I can, but like I said, I may have to do a separate video all about shipping just because there is so much information to it. I don't think I can cover it all right now. Insurance, I use USPS for most of my packages, and if you use USPS Priority, that does have insurance up to $50, I believe, and I've had to use it before. If something breaks or gets lost, then you get reimbursed and you can reimburse your buyer. So most of my packages have insurance already on them. Briefly, just some shipping tips. Like I said, make sure you save all of the packaging that you get, boxes, bubble wrap, tissue paper, all of that, because you will probably use it. Number 2, like I said, you can get free shipping supplies on the USPS website, and they will be sent right to your house. Number 3, if you're using Poshmark, it is very, very easy to ship. They just email you the label when your item is sold, and you can use any box, any size, any bag for that and just put your label on. So that is definitely a good way to ship. It's very easy and the buyer pays for shipping, so that's super easy. And then on eBay, when you're listing your item, you just kind of need to know the size of it and the weight of it, so you can select which box you're going to ship it in. That way when the item sells, you can go on and purchase the label, put the label on, and again, on eBay, the buyer is paying for shipping. So that's all covered. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about shipping. I can do a whole video on it because there's just so much, and it did take me a while to learn it all, so I would want to like make sure that I actually wrote it all down and organized all of my thoughts so I could best answer those questions. Hey guys, that is it. I hope that this video was helpful. I'm sorry if it was all over the place, but that's just kind of my day. I'm kind of all over the place and doing a bunch of different stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that I showed you as much of my process as possible, and I wanted to answer all of those questions. So sorry if this is a lot of information, but I hope that this helps. Be sure to comment down below because that helps me out a lot to know what else you guys want to know or how well I explained all of this. And be sure to check out my Instagram because I do ask questions on there a lot and answer them there. And don't forget to check out Skillshare, link to my bio. Have a great week, guys. Bye.